Hey guys, Dreader here. It's September the 30th, 2013, and it's not raining here where I am right now, just outside Vancouver, but it's been storming the last few days and raining on and off, and it looks like we're being surrounded by some interesting system here. So I've already taken almost all of my tomatoes out of this garden here where I live, but there's a few volunteer tomatoes that came up this year, so I thought I'd show myself taking those off, bringing them inside to ripen along with the rest of my stuff that's currently ripening, and the rest of the video will be about other topics. Alright, what's new today? Let's see here. The USA is about to default on its obligations, and the US government is about to shut down in approximately 3 hours. Okay, no, that's not new. That happens every 90 days or so. Let's see. Oh, the US Mint updated their numbers today. There we have it, just over 3 million Silver Eagles sold in September, and that'll be the final update for September, of course, and that brings the total to 36.1 million for the year. Now that 3 million, that's the lowest total so far this year, isn't it? I got a couple things to say about that. One, even though that is the lowest total so far this year, not by very much, it was 3.27 here in June, so it's, you know, just a shade under that, but it is the lowest this year, but that's what I would have expected, seeing the price action this month. You see, it's volatility that really drives sales, whether it's up or down on the chart. It's that movement that really gets people noticing and really gets people buying silver. I've noticed it all through the year that whenever there's more volatility, like in July we had that drop below the $26 support level and crashed down to 22 for the first time, we had this major spike in sales. So I've noticed that it is definitely dependent on volatility. So you know, we've had a month where we've been sitting pretty much at 22 bucks and done nothing. We had that little Bernanke move up and then over and then back down again. And other than that, it really hasn't been that exciting in September. So sales have been a little bit cooler. And two, the other thing I wanted to say about that, 3 million ounces, the number that has been produced and sold in September. A few years ago, in 2007, that would have been the total number of Eagles sold between about May 10th and this point in the year, October 1st. So 4.5 months would have totaled this. So is that really a small amount? A few years ago that was a third of a year. Now it's just the worst month of the year. So that puts it into perspective a little bit for you. And another way to put that 3 million in perspective is to consider how many ounces of silver are mined in all of the USA, which has to go for all kinds of other purposes, not just investment, and not just investment in particular Silver Eagles, but all types of investment and all types of industrial uses, medical uses, and so forth, is 30 million ounces. So 10 times the amount of Eagles that were sold this month is the amount of silver that's mined in the entire country of the USA every year. So that 3 million is a little bit lower than the other months this year. Totally explainable and still not a small amount. So let's move this data over to the graphs that I've been upkeeping throughout the year. Briefly, for anyone who hasn't seen this before, the orange line keeps track of the all-time best January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and now September of all time. That's over the past 27 years that Silver Eagles have been minted, and the green is the mintage rates so far in 2013. As you can see, a few times this month we have certainly surpassed the old records, in fact by quite a bit, but at other times we have just barely not surpassed it. This is the first month where we came not even close to passing it. Well, I mean, it's close, but it's further away than it has been all year. There was a really good September back in 2011, and over 4 million ounces that month, so it's been tough for us to beat that. We only came just above 3 million this month, so but next month, let's have a look here. October, the record is 3.15 million, and that was set in 2012. So where's 3.15? That's somewhere around here, this level here for next month. So as long as there's a bit of volatility in the chart, I would expect it to be an all-time record. But we don't have any data for that following month at all, of course, yet, because it's not even October, so I'm just speculating here. But let's move over to the other chart. There we go, and as you can see, we've done 75% of the year already, and we are within striking distance, really, within a month, a good month, of breaking that 2011 total. I don't see any way that there's going to be a non-record year here for it to come up to, you know, somewhere around there or something. We'd have to have an incredibly tiny October, an incredibly tiny November, and an incredibly tiny December, or a lot of fudging of data, which we've seen that can happen. But I really think it's going to end up somewhere about 45 to 47, as I've said before, and we will just have to keep on watching that to find out. And lastly, my new life in Chile. If you haven't seen this video by Davinci J15, I'll link it down below, but I think a lot of people who watch this channel already watch his channel. But yeah, the news is that he has moved to Chile, and I think he's just finishing getting sort of set up there and getting everything transferred over. And he had a catastrophic, life-altering relationship change at the end of last year, and he's done a lot in less than a year, I think. So I just wanted to say, good for you, man. Davinci and I have been friends for a while. Never met in person yet, but you know, we chat and stuff like that. So it was good to talk to him today. He's had to keep it a bit down low for a while, so I didn't even know he was moving there until today or yesterday when I saw this video. So it's a surprise for a lot of people, but consider going over there and showing him a bit of support. And listen to that video. Listen to what he says, because he's not exaggerating about how bad it is for ex-husbands, fathers in Canada. I don't like to talk about it myself, but there's so many parallels going on with my own situation, which began several years ago, actually. All through this channel, it's been just ongoing. And, well, there may be some upcoming news about that as well. But he's not exaggerating how bad it is. It really is completely stacked. And if you mention that it's completely stacked, if you notice how stacked it is against men, and you mention that, then you are a disgusting, chauvinistic pig, a deadbeat, all those kind of things instantly. As soon as you draw attention to how fucked up it is, I'm sorry, but it just really is fucked up. If you haven't been through it, you won't get it. Believe me, I can tell you how bad it is, and you won't believe me. You just won't believe me. You can go watch Davinci's video and listen to what he's saying. It's that bad, or worse. It really, really is. So I know a bit about what he's going through. He's got a smile on his face here, so that's a good thing. And I am still in Canada, obviously. I have never left, and I won't be leaving Canada. That's not a comment about what Davinci's choice is at all, because I respect his choice completely. And he has and had the means to do so. Davinci makes, well, more money than I do. So his situation's a little different that way, but the rest of it is identical. And I know what he's going through being a Canadian dad, ex-husband. It is not something I would wish on my worst enemy, really isn't. If you are going to get married, my advice to you is be a woman. That's you know, as candid as I can be. I'm not trying to be rude to anyone. I'm not trying to be sexist. That's unfortunately the system that we live in Canada and much of the West. You know, it has been bad for women in the past. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm not going to get into that debate. But it is brutal, absolutely brutal, and I'm not exaggerating, and neither is Davinci when he does that video. So to hear him talk about it was really good for me. It gives me a bit of hope because of what's going on for me. But anyway, this isn't about me. I want to say thanks to Vinci for making that video, and welcome anyone who is watching this that hasn't seen it to go over there and check it out, and maybe show him a bit of support as well. And hopefully he'll do some videos about Chile, because it's an interesting country and there are good reasons to move there, in my opinion. So I think that it would be useful for people, his subscribers, to learn a bit more about Chile. And poor guy's trying to learn the language down there. He knows about 10 words, so if he knows some Spanish, maybe drop him a few pointers. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.